Let's go, girls.
Hello and welcome on into this Wednesday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. That is Movie Burner Entertainment for all you layman's out there. We'd like to thank you for joining us. What is that, man? We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. We've got one topic tonight because we are going to be doing some pre-recording stuff. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just pick my nose when you're doing that, John. And we're going to be doing one subject tonight because we are doing some pre-recording of Andor, possibly maybe some trailers as well. John, that sounded like Kevin Thompson there.
God, I know.
Anyway,
World class player. Nothing can do about it. Slotted at home. It's like fucking. It's like Hunter Hearst Helmsley when he joined the WWF. Oh my god! I'm here for beard content. Well, you picked the right channel.
Yeah.
Because I certainly have a beard.
Yeah, I might as well just leave then.
I have tailored the beard down. It was once tremendous. It is now less tremendous. I like to keep it nice and short at the sides.
Welcome on in, Derpy. We're going to be doing the Batman 2. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And I mean, it's the Batman 2 not expected to release until 2025. Before I get into this, John, I was actually expecting it to be around about 2025, if I'm being honest with you. Matt Reeves hasn't even got a script finished, but this is coming in from
Matt
Screen.
Reeves is a lazy bastard.
Still living off past glories, are you, Matthew? Move on, mate. We want to see the next instalment of that great film. But following news that Warner Bros. Has appointed James Gunn and Peter Safran to co-run DC Studios, John, Variety shared a report detailing the status of the various DC projects in the light of the significant development. The report included an update on where the Batman 2's development stands. Matt Reeves reportedly has not delivered a finished script yet to studio. This has created an expectation that the Batman 2 will not be released until 2025 at the earliest. The sequel would need to begin filming in 2023-24 to meet such a timeline, giving Reeves another year or so to finish the script and all the other phases of pre-production.
2023 to meet a 2025 timeline.
I was watching back our review back in March with Gianni, and just going over it. I think I was doing a short. I think that's what it was on Gianni rating the film. I think I gave it an 8.8 out of 10. Even back then,
I don't know what I gave it.
It was still in the sort of air in regards to an official confirmation that there was going to be a sequel. Although the rumours were very strong that it got a free picture deal. We talked about it in Movie News probably last year, John, a few times.
Yes. I actually thought I'd dreamt it. Like I'd dreamt the confirmation that Stephen Strange would be in WandaVision. Yeah. Of course, I watched to the final seconds.
I think the only one that sort of came true was that June we were going to have a second part before it was officially announced.
Stephen, we were reviewing June when the news was broken.
That's right.
It was indeed going to have a sequel.
It was live, yeah.
Because it wasn't certain.
But I mean, to be fair, officially it was confirmed after the film came out, the Batman that is, and you're only talking maybe about 7 months ago. So I can understand why Matt Reeves hasn't finished the script yet. But again, 2025 seems probably the most realistic window for the second instalment of the Matt Reeves trilogy to be released anyway. John, are you surprised, disappointed in this?
I'm not disappointed. I look at it from two sort of avenues and I'll get into it.
Yeah.
What Derpy says in the chat as well is why I'm not surprised, because he's overseen the spin-off series as well. I think it's set in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
It was initially going to be the police. I was about to say police academy, the Gotham Police Department. Police academy. It was supposed to be about the Gotham Police. It was going to look into police corruption, the sort of nefarious sort of deeds of Cobblepot. Oswald Cobblepot, is that what his name is? Oswald?
The Penguin, yeah.
The Penguin,
yeah.
As that Cumberbatch would call it. The Penguin. He actually got it right once. I was watching the video not long ago. It was on the Graham Norton show.
Yeah, he was overthinking it.
He said penguin, then he said penguin, which was correct. Then he said at one point pengling.
Then went on to do the Penguins of Madagascar film.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny how a man educated in Eton, one of the most illustrious schools, probably in the Northern Hemisphere, not just Britain, can't say the word penguin. But look, there's words I can't say as well. And look, I've got a dry mouth just now, so there's going to be a lot of words that I will not be able to pronounce tonight. And what do you do when you have a dry mouth? You drink Holland's finest beer, and that dries it up even more. So stick around for that. It's about to get interesting. Yeah, I'm not disappointed, Stephen. I'm not surprised. The spin-off series is going to be coming. I hope. Set in Arkham Asylum. Who's currently in Arkham Asylum? Of course, we've got the Riddler and his little disfigured friend. Disfaced? Don't know what that means. Joker, Barry Keoghan, potentially. Yeah. Are they going to pop up in a TV show on HBO Max? Highly fucking doubt it. It will probably be other characters, but he's putting his irons in many fires, is Matt. And it takes time, Stephen. We've seen the complex nature of writing film scripts. Yeah. Taika Waititi hasn't even wrote a single fucking line of his Star Wars script yet. He's a very talented man.
Yeah.
I think that's perhaps because Taika is probably getting second thoughts about working on Star Wars after the announcement that came out the other day. Where am I going with this? He's a busy man.
Yeah.
It takes time. He's working on other things. He's expanding the universe out here. Doesn't really worry me. And it doesn't disappoint me because we've got loads of fucking good films coming out between then and 25. Look how quick the years have went in the last 2-3 years. You'll blink and it will be 2025. I will blink, Stephen, and I will be 36 years of age. And that fucking terrifies me.
When this comes out.
When that comes out, depending on when it comes out. If they release it in January, unlikely, I'll still be 35.
That's
I'm currently 33.
Yeah,
and I'm clinging on to it.
That's crazy when you think about it, because I think it was maybe 2 years ago that Robert Pattinson had been announced as taking over as Bruce Wayne / Batman, and you were only 31 at the time, John.
Yeah.
So time does catch up in us all. Certainly as with me, I think by that time, John, I'm just a 49. Year off being 50. So, but listen, the child in me will be looking forward to this movie anyway.
Oh, Stephen, but look, man, there's two reasons behind this. You could say it's down to sort of creative reasons. He's maybe got a bit of writer's block. Maybe he is working on the show, as I say. He's working on various things. He's not just had that chance yet to write the script. But it also could be down to the other huge news that broke yesterday about James Gunn coming in to become the Kevin Feige of DC Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
That could be a big bearing on it, Stephen. He's taking creative control of all the DC superhero projects. Maybe he's just going to liaise with Matt Reeves and see if he can maybe do something, a separate universe. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be multiversal stuff going on with the Flash movie. Is that still happening? Ezra Miller potentially 26 years in prison.
I don't know what's happening with that now.
Well, we've got an article, Stephen, and I shall try and bring it up. This will be a fucking disaster. Mark my words. It's actually not bad.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
It's really just, it's not that article I'm looking for. It's this article
he's
here.
gone so white, isn't he?
Joker 2 will remain outside James Gunn's DC cinematic universe. Yeah. And that's been confirmed.
It's the cinematic universe he's taken over.
He's took over. Well, I mean, they're saying it's a cinematic universe, Stephen, but in reality, James Gunn has been earmarked as the Kevin Feige of DC since the very moment he was sacked from Disney for those tweets that happened 12 years ago. 10 years at that point. He was quickly snatched up by DC to do the Suicide Squad. He's worked on what was the name of fucking the John Cena character again? In Suicide Squad, did the movie?
Yeah, I can't. It was a
TV show.
Yeah, TV show. Can't remember his name.
Since that point, Stephen,
it
was meant to be brilliant. I need to watch it. I do have to. Peacemaker,
yeah.
I have to watch it. It looked very, very funny indeed, but so much to watch. But he's been touted as the sort of Feige of DC since then. It's been confirmed he is. He ain't just going to be working on that cinematic universe, Stephen. He will be overseeing all superhero content being churned out of the studio. So the fact that Joker 2 will remain outside, that's perhaps an indicator of Matt Reeves' future with the Batman, because it's currently not part of that cinematic universe. It may live in its own little bubble universe.
I would rather it did.
I was going to ask you that. What do you think with Gunn coming in?
There's also the news of Affleck coming back as well now, as well as Cavill. So if those things play out the way I hope they do, I would rather the Matt Reeves stuff did remain its own entity rather than connected. DC, they have to make up their mind what they're doing. They're either going you know, in a total opposite direction of the way that Marvel are doing the MCU, or are doing something similar. Instead, they seem to want to do it, then they don't want to do it, and then obviously with the Flash coming out, it reeks of multiverse of madness kind of things that are going on as
obviously
well.
with Ezra Miller facing 26 years in jail.
Yeah.
Talk he's been recast already.
Yeah. I heard that. I can't remember the actor's name. I think you might have covered it, John. I think you might have. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was John Campea I was thinking about.
I think it's Sean that covered it. I'm staying away from Ezra Miller now, Stephen. Last time I spoke about Ezra, he was seeking help. He'd put a statement out. His mother had sort of placed him under house arrest, and he was trying to fix his career. Then it turns out something else happened, and now he's 26 years potentially, looking at a 26-year stint in jail. So things have went even worse for Ezra. So I'm staying away from Ezra Miller.
Well, I tend to stay away from those kind of things anyway in terms of entertainment, John, because it's not really entertainment, is it? It's real life stuff that's going on that's depress the hell out of you. Let's be honest with you.
Stephen also says at one point, I would love to spend a night out with Ezra Miller, because as much as he's crazy, I think he'd be a great laugh on a night out. Then it came out that he was
you do
grooming
commit yourself at times, John.
And I'm like, take that
I
back.
think, him and Savile.
He's not as bad as Savile.
Yeah, what a night out that'd be. Fred West. I think, John, to be honest with
Jeffrey
you,
Dahmer.
One of the reasons I like entertainment, I like movies, I like films, it takes you away from all the sort of horrible things that go on in the world. I don't really want to start talking about. I know that other YouTube channels that cover entertainment cover these things, and that's fair enough. I don't know enough about it because I don't follow it. I've not got an interest in what Ezra Miller's up to and what he's not up to be honest with you, and his own personal life.
I mean, you mentioned multiversal, Stephen.
Yeah.
Ezra was speaking about being from another universe. You'll
in
not
real life,
catch me.
He probably is, yeah.
Yeah, you'll not catch me. I'm from another universe.
Yeah.
Well, they did. He was breaking
Bonkers.
into someone's house in his home state.
Bonkers, yeah.
For alcohol.
He thinks he is Barry Allen in real life.
He does. He's lost the plot.
Yeah.
To be fair, I seen sort of, I'm trying to think of premonition of what was to come for Ezra when he turned up to Comic-Con in a Miss Toad costume. And of course famously photographed in that huge down jacket sort of dress. I thought then it was eccentric.
Yeah.
That was a bit Charles here.
Eccentric. Yeah.
Eccentric, yeah.
Bloody thing.
But I don't, Stephen, I'm not getting near Ezra Miller. Needless to say, where were we going with Ezra Miller? Did I bring that up?
You brought it up, John, but you were actually talking about obviously this
I think you were speaking about the Flash
concept and moving away from it, and you asked me the question about obviously Matt Reeves' franchise not being connected to the MCU. Would I want it to stay? I want it to be a separate thing. I would like to think I've got the brains to understand the levels of DC content and where they all sit and play. John, I said long ago, and I still stand by it, I wish they would just do away with the fucking DCEU. I can't be bothered with it.
It's not even the DCEU now, it's the DC fucking world of...
Yeah, it's pish water. That's what we like to see here, pish water.
It's tenants.
But I think, I'm not interested in it. I think DC are best when they do things standalone. We've got a great Todd Phillips Joker. We've got a great Matt Reeves Batman. We got a great, and I still maintain the Man of Steel was not in the plans of being multiversal at the time of its release. There was no clue or indication.
I bet Henry wished that it remained separate.
And I love the Man of Steel.
So do I.
But apart from that, Wonder Woman,
I
could have lived without Wonder Woman's films. I could have lived without Aquaman films as well. As much as I like Jason Momoa, they just don't have the same sort of connect or impact on me as the stuff from the MCU.
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson's fantastic, John. Nicole Kidman was in there as well. Tamila Morrison was in that as well. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, great casting, John, but I didn't really need that, to be honest with you. Yeah. I would rather just they did things stand alone.
I'm getting some Dior Sauvage to back Johnny.
Hi, Rick. How you doing?
I'm going to back Johnny. I've heard Sauvage is great. I'm going to buy it and support Johnny.
An aftershave?
It's an aftershave. I get just about every other one now, Steam, so I'd be as well buying it. I'm going to back Johnny financially. Not that he'll get the money, because he won't. But needless to say, Stephen, I agree with everything you fucking says. They should separate it all. DC, and we've maintained this from day one, are at their absolute best when they're creating standalone content, standalone films. You think back in the day, man, all the great Batman movies we had, the shit ones as well, the great Superman movies we've had, they're all independent. Their stories, their comic books lean more to great. Don't do it. The people. The subway is still the safest and most reliable form of transport in this city.
It's true that.
It is true, because Christopher Reeve's Batman, Superman, is overlooking the subway with his laser eyes.
Bad green screen.
And bad green screen. That's the same movie I just looked up there and thought I'd seen a spider. That's the same movie he fought Nuclear Man on the moon.
He rebuilt the Great Wall of China with his eyes.
Nuclear Man.
Yeah.
And he put all of the Earth's nukes into a great big net and forced them into the sun.
Space curtains.
If only we had Christopher Reeve's Superman. I keep wanting to say Batman.
Reeves, yeah.
I
do love Christopher Reeves.
Just
embodied,
it's not
embodied the character.
No, but if only we had him now, we could get rid of all of the world's nukes and Putin would be fucked.
Yeah.
But Stephen, where was I going there? Yeah, standalone. Best content for DC standalone. Their comic book stories lean more to standalone. Great trilogies, great standalone experiences. Obviously, you could do cinematic universes, but they didn't earn the right. Was that? Why am I blanking on his name? What the fuck? Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
It's been one of those nights already, and we're only 20 minutes in. So it's going
probably about 15 minutes in, actually.
Yeah, 15 minutes, because
come on a little bit later, yeah.
This is what happens when you try to stretch one topic out at times.
But you don't have to, John.
We don't have to, no, but it's a natural evolution where I'm going with it. Zack Snyder never earned the right to create that fucking Justice League movie. He never earned the right to have that cinematic universe evolve to where it was. That's 10 years, maybe 7 years of filmmaking, of introducing the characters, of creating this world. He didn't do what Marvel did. It was rushed. It wasn't down to Zack, probably down to DC and Warner Brothers forcing it to try and catch up. And I would just rather they walked away like you, Stephen, from the cinematic universe and give us more of what Matt Reeves did, what Christopher Nolan did, what they did with the Man of Steel movie. I'm with you. It didn't initially strike me as a sort of cinematic universe movie. It was just a standalone Superman movie. And if you bring out a Man of Steel 2 in the next couple of years, as has been touted, and just create like a trilogy or a duology, it will still feel like a separate story.
2 and 3 back to back, similar to what they had to do with the Matrix films and Back to the Future.
He's getting on, isn't he, Henry?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to strike while the iron's hot as well. I think if you do a second one and then take your foot off the gas, as they said, the Warner Brothers producers said, Superman needs momentum.
What does Wonder Woman need then? Because
John, this is the
dead in
thing
their arse now.
I wanted to talk about in terms of DC sequels, in terms of Wonder Woman 2. It just wasn't a great film.
It wasn't.
Then you had obviously the Birds of Prey film.
Shit.
What is a spin-off obviously of the Suicide Squad, and then you had Aquaman 2, which is coming out soon. I'm not even that excited about that film. I just don't think it warrants a sequel.
No.
As much as I like Jason Momoa, and as much as I like the likes of Patrick
Wilson.
I was about to say Patrick Roberts. Patty. So you know what I'm saying, though. I mean, I just don't think.
Well Sunderland.
I don't think they've got the. I don't think the
interest
is there
Patrick
for these.
Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
I know it's not Patrick Stewart, so my mind rushes around for what the actual name is. This is a sort of insight into my mind when I'm doing shows or anything. If I'm talking and my mouth's always ahead of my brain, so I'm speaking and then it's like, what's that name? Shit, hurry up! What's the name? Wilson, boom, Patrick Wilson.
Did you remember to cut that bit out from the review the other day?
What bit was that? Yeah.
Yes,
I did. Yes,
that's okay because I've not checked it out yet. So
yes, I definitely cut it out.
It did. Obviously went public. So, but again, it's you're right, John. Many times have I said Jeff Daniels instead of Jeff Bridges, or again.
How many times have I said
Martin Sheen instead of Charlie Sheen?
Pin and Foe instead of fucking Poe and Finn? I had to think about that.
But it's the joys of doing live
it is
stuff.
The joys. Stephen, I'm just upset that wasn't live when we filmed it, because look at the amount of views that fucking Instagram or TikTok video
that was
got.
Incredible, yeah.
My God, we'd be fucking sitting on
but
a million views.
You'd have enjoyed it though, John.
I give a shit, Stephen. I don't care, man.
So much so you deleted it right away.
No. As you know, back in those days it was just getting ripped from the camera.
Yeah, that's right.
It
so
was fucking...
Yeah.
Just backward.
Yeah.
The way we were doing things, the content, the editing was just horrendous. I realised maybe about a year and a half ago, that OBS exists, and you can just record everything,
yeah,
and it's all in one place.
Yeah, I mean, John, we used to record on a Sunday, and you'd be doing things that were coming out on the Tuesday and stuff like that. We'd record on the Tuesday or whatever it was to do stuff later on in the week.
Yeah,
and you were up all night,
like
piecing it all together.
Mental.
It was
crazy.
This is the way forward.
This
folks.
is the way.
Yeah.
As Pedro Pascal would say. Pedro couldn't say Wonder Woman 1984 incidentally.
No.
Stephen, Joker 2, getting off on a little tangent here. Happy little tangent. I quote Bob Ross, but butcher it. Happy little tree, happy little tangent. What is your thoughts on Joker 2? Have we discussed Joker 2 together? Because I feel like every time it's come up on the channel, it's been me doing a solo show.
Yeah.
Musical. Todd Phillips is back.
It's a strange one.
It's Todd Phillips.
Yeah. Todd.
Yeah. Lady Gaga playing
yeah.
Harley Quinn.
Oh, to be fair to Lady Gaga, I've seen her in films, and she's not a bad actor. She's not terrible or anything like that. For me, she's just not great. Yeah. But that kind of role might suit her.
She's a bit better than Harry Styles.
But in terms of a musical, that's just, it's crazy. I think it would work with a Joker.
When you think of Joker, though,
yeah,
some of the best moments in that movie were music heavy.
Yep.
Some of it's obviously fucking Gary Glitter, strangely. Why is that guy's music still appearing in movies in 2022? And the man is a beast.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say allegedly, it's out there. That man is an out and out beast.
I think it'll work, and I think they have to do something different as well. It's something different from the first movie. I know that he paid homage to the likes of Taxi Driver and
Kings of Comedy.
Yeah, Kings of Comedy.
It
wasn't an absolute rip-off or anything.
I think it was
King of Comedy. Yeah.
King of Comedy.
I think as well, John, that it's. I don't think it's a risk or anything like that. I think it could work if it's an absolute crazy bonkers film, then it might as well be a musical. But I think it will have obviously those elements that made that first film memorable.
Stephen, I'd love
and
to see
enjoyable.
Fucking Rocket Man-esque shit going on in that movie.
Yeah.
Where he's obviously ODing on the whatever the fuck it was. He's in the pool and then he's in a stadium.
It's his state of mind, John, at the end of the day. So, wow. I
agree.
I think. I think. Are you ready, kids? Oh, that's SpongeBob, by the way. It's not Gary Glitter. I think, John. I think it could work. I think if it's the Joker. The first movie was narrated from his point of view, so his mind is what it is.
And it could be that this one's narrated from the point of view of Harley Quinn. It could be some twisted love story. The musical elements would lend more to I'm assuming Lady Gaga, and then Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin is a lot of things, an incredible actor. Never struck me as a great singer. But look, we've been surprised before. We've seen the likes of fucking what's his name? Blank on his name. What's his name? Can't remember.
You're talking about
you know who I'm talking about? The theory.
Are you talking about Bradley Cooper?
No, the chaos of everything. I thought the theory of everything.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, Eddie Redmayne.
Redmayne.
Yeah.
We've seen him. And it rose with voices ringing, and I can hear.
And Pierce Brosnan and Mamma Mia as well.
The very words that they sang. That was him singing.
Yeah.
So if Eddie Redmayne can tackle a musical, why can't Joaquin? That's what I'm saying. Better actor anyway, let's be honest. Going to be interesting, Joker 2, to see if they can live up to it. If they do go down the musical heavy route and do something completely off-piste and different, then he certainly can't be attacked for sort of coattailing Martin Scorsese and just making a beat-by-beat remake of his movies from the 70s when he was truly great. He's still great now, but not as good as then. Everyone loses a degree of greatness as they get older. I was never particularly great at the start of my life.
Because everybody loses an interest in gangster films.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
As the years roll on.
Where I was going with that is Martin was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Some of us are not as incredible as Martin, but we still lose the greatness we had, so we're fucked. I'm fucked. I will be nothing by the end of my life. So, where am I going with this? I don't fucking know, Stephen. I'm looking forward to Joker 2. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do it. I'm looking forward even more, though, to the Batman 2.
Yeah.
And where they go with that, because I love Robert Pattinson. I think he's done the correct thing post-Twilight, post-Harry Potter. He's been off and worked with some of the best independent directors in the game. He's done some really interesting...
Yeah, with Eggers and stuff.
Eggers and the Safdie brothers, and done some really interesting fucking movies. He did work with the Safdie brothers. I'm pretty sure he played some fucked up druggie. Done some really interesting movies and became a really brilliant actor. I really enjoyed him in The Devil All the Time, I think it was, playing the preacher.
Holland,
Delusions! Blaspheming the Lord and you're mad.
He's a great actor, John. I know
I want to see him getting his teeth into Batman and becoming a more evolved version, because at the start, Steve, very green-nosed, still not really sure of his place in Gotham, still not really sure of himself as a human being, because the best bit we've spoke about Batman before is this sort of trifect character. He's not really Bruce, he's not really the Batman, he's somewhere in between.
Also, from
he's still getting to terms with it.
The general tone of the film as well, I don't want them to stray too far away from, because it was something different. It was the detective side of Batman we were getting a lot in this film, albeit maybe the last 30 minutes of it, but you have to have your big bombastic action set piece in a Batman film at some point, don't you? It really depends on where they go with the villain. If it's going to be someone like Mr. Freeze, then it can't be detective heavy. You know, we talked about this with Gianni when we done the review back in March, and he did highlight that, you know, that one of the things that he liked about the film was that it was 90% detective orientated.
Where do you think they're going to go with it, Stephen, in terms of villain? Because obviously Cobblepot is now, after Falcone, I think it was Carmine Falcone got shot. Do you think that they will go for a full Penguin movie in the sequel and then end with maybe Riddler and Joker teaming up? Because certainly with Penguin, he's a bit more thuggish. But he's still, certainly the Penguin I grew up with Danny DeVito, was a bit of a schemer. He was cerebral. He was hiding in the shadows, and he was a puppet master.
Yeah, not as clever as someone like the Riddler, John. But I think you're absolutely right. I think they still have to stay focused on that element of the first film into the sequel. They have to keep that cerebral sort of presence in there, and the mind games, and play with Batman a bit. Because I think that Bruce has come to that crossroads that we saw at the end of the film. Where he's starting to understand his identity and how he embraces that, and I think that's something they have to obviously address as well right into this film. But I think you're right. I think why have Colin Farrell in that film, that first movie, if you're not going to utilise him in the sequel? It'd be a bit weird that he wouldn't be in the sequel, if you know what I mean. He's in that universe, and then we don't see him again. I think it might be the Penguin. Yeah, the Penguin, because, and obviously part of me wants to see Nick Cage as Eggman or whatever the fuck it is he was putting forward. He was saying someone at Warner Brothers giving me a call. That'd be Matt Reeves you want to speak to. Nick. I would do it. But he says it was from the original show in the 50s or 60s. It was a joke character in that, but sort of everything was fucking vaudevillian, if that's the right word. I've said that twice I think this week, or in the last week anyway. It's a bit campy, over the top, eccentric villain. Everything's egg themed. But if you can just imagine Nick Cage going down a dark fucking hole with that. Not a black hole, because there's no way you can't come out of a black hole. If we're talking about theoretical physics here, it's not theoretical. You've got the horizon. Is that what it's called? Horizon point. I can't remember. But once you go over it in a black hole, you can't come back. Which is where I was nearly going there when I says I couldn't remember it. You can imagine him going into a dark place with that character and giving us something special, Stephen. And his connection, his love of Batman, it'd be great to see him in just comics in general. It'd be great to see him in that movie in some form. And again, that you can imagine that would be a cerebral villain, or a cerebral. Even now I'm not sure how to say that fucking word. I say cerebral. I think I used to say cerebral, and then I heard an American saying cerebral, and I just jumped on that. But we should know better than that. Sword, schedule. It's a great word. So I don't know where they're going to go with it, but I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't worry me that it's been delayed. It's not even been delayed, that it's expected to come in 2025. Matt Reeves came out not long after the Batman released and says, I'm taking a break. I will not be rushed. I will take my time with it. And that's for the best, Stephen. That is, because the longer this guy's got to marinate over the story, over the sort of script, over everything, every aspect, he's got to think, and maybe group think with people he's collaborating with on this sequel, the better the movie will be in the end. The better the villain will be, the more realised the story will be, the more realised the evolution. It may even be that he's thinking about the final two movies as a sort of joint, sort of whole. Well, to get your third
story.
story, you need to make sure the second story works.
Yes,
and
someone should have told Kathleen Kennedy that for Star Wars.
John, I was going to touch on that actually. I know that another YouTube channel covered this in terms of Bob Chapek.
Yeah, I've seen it hard off one again.
Came down hard on Lucasfilm again for announcing films that they're not even in production.
It's a joke.
It's amateur.
It's amateur.
It's amateur hour over at that studio for some
Patty
reason.
Jenkins gets a movie announced. Oh no, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi gets a movie announced. It's coming out first. This is the next Star Wars movie.
Ryan
it's
Johnson
not even
trilogy.
a script.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson doesn't happen. James Mangold's supposed to be doing an Obi-Wan Boba Fett thing.
Solo were supposed to be doing a thing as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
The two that were removed.
Yeah, Lord and Miller.
Yeah. I was about to say
right.
Miller and Carter.
Wish I was in Miller and Carter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I could polish a fillet steak just now.
Yeah. You like your cow, John? Yeah.
I do like my cow, and then scalp the sort of leftovers right off one of those oil fucking whatever the hell they are protesters, right off their domes, because they're getting under my skin just now. Those little fucking weirdos,
Dweebs. Yeah.
dweebs. Honest to God, man, that's the next generation. They think they're so fucking open and alert to the world's problems, as if nobody else is aware of the fact we're going to drown in like the next 20 years. Everybody's aware of it. There's just no need to fucking throw tomato soup over a Van Gogh painting.
Hopefully a lot longer than 20
well,
years.
I mean, to be fair, we'll be fine, but if
Yeah.
you stay in New York, or if you stay in the Bahamas, or if you stay in an island, or if you stay in London, or if you stay in the Netherlands, you're pretty much fucked. So, yeah, lovely note to end on. But that's going to round it up. The world's crashing. If you don't get done by a nuke, then you will almost certainly be done by a fucking rising sea level. We'll all end up like Waterworld, where your man was in it.
Costner, yeah.
Kevin
I
Costner.
hated that film.
I actually loved that movie when I was a little guy. I'm not going to lie. I was slightly obsessed with it. But we've already sort of realised that I had some very dodgy takes in movies when I was younger. I think I actually liked Batman and Robin back in the day. I certainly liked the theme tune, and I did like the Batmobile. But it was aimed at my demographic.
You were 8, John, so you couldn't let you away with that.
It was aimed at me, to be fair. A kid with no sense. But then I also loved some other great movies. Even back then I was a fan of Spielberg. And I liked James and the Giant Peach, which I believe was a Leica studio. It wasn't Leica, it was something else, but it was a stop motion. So I had taste, and I didn't have taste. I don't know where I'm going, mate. It doesn't matter. We're all going to end up under the sea. That's what the point I was making. But look, man, that's going to round it up.
Enchantment Under the Sea.
Enchantment Under the Sea. Message in a Bottle. That was also Kevin Costner. Sea related. Kevin likes his water movies, doesn't he? He really does like his water movies.
Ironically, most of them are pish. Yeah.
I agree. That was Paul Newman's last movie. Fuck me. Can you believe it? Wow. Not a huge fan of Message in the Bottle. But look, man, that's going to round it up. What's your thoughts on the Batman 2? What's your thoughts on it not being expected to release until 2025? You can share your thoughts down below about that. But James Gunn taking over as the sort of heir apparent. It's not heir apparent because there was no one there really doing what Kevin Feige does over at Marvel, but he's becoming the Kevin Feige of DC and Warner Bros. Share your thoughts on Joker 2, anything we've discussed, the world being under the waves in 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. It's coming. Lord knows when, but I'll not be here to see it, so fuck it. Share your thoughts about that down below in the comments section. I will be if it's in 20 years, maybe. Anything else you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on YouTube to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Regardless of what you do though, thank you for watching us. Do it over on Twitch as well. Forgot about Twitch. We've got a viewer on Twitch just now.
I noticed, John, the delay in Twitch as well.
Share your thoughts down below. But you can't do that on Twitch. It's a totally different thing. Notification button, follow button over on Twitch to see us over there doing live content. Usually 3 days a week, but it's been all over the fucking place in recent weeks. Regardless of what you do, thank you once again for watching us. Until the next time, me and Stephen are done. Bye-bye.